DCU Daily, we celebrate Batman Day by talking about what might have been Ben Affleck's The Batman movie, a movie he was going to star in, write, produce, and direct. And oh boy, did we lose out. Why do DC fans keep on losing out? I'll explain to you today. Happy Batman Day to all who celebrate. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Movies TV Mad, the channel that gives it to you straight between the eyes. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad, X, on Snapchat BMouth60, and on TikTok Mad Mickey's World. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCU Daily, and it's Batman Day. What a fantastic character. I've enjoyed every single live action version and animated version, mostly, of this character. What is it about Batman that we love? There's something robust about this character, a character that witnessed the death of his parents, a wealthy young man who grows up to be a vigilante, who through charity tries to help his city, and by being a vigilante tries to clean up the streets of this corrupt city, Gotham City. I always talk about the Snyderverse a lot. I talk about my heartache and pain from losing what we would have had: Justice League 2, Justice League 3, a Flashpoint movie, a Cyborg movie, Man of Steel 2, and Ben Affleck's The Batman movie, as I said on the top of the show. A movie that Ben Affleck was going to write, direct, produce, and star in. We already knew that Ben Affleck is a very talented director, and this was going to be a very, very special movie, everyone. Very special. He teased us. Deathstroke. Joe Manganiello was going to play Deathstroke, and he's teased in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it's a brilliant moment where you realise that Lex Luthor tells Deathstroke that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and that kind of sets everything up. This was going to be a dark revenge tale. This was going to be a proper revenge story. It was going to be dark, it was going to be compelling, but studio interference yet again robbed DC fans of something that was going to be utterly dark, utterly compelling, utterly riveting, and again, the customer didn't get something we desperately wanted, because we're dealing with an echo chamber that doesn't listen to its customer base, and this is why they're on their knees. That's why they're on the verge of fucking bankruptcy, isn't it? So why didn't we get to see this amazing movie? Well, Ben Affleck at the time was suffering with alcoholism and many, many personal problems. And his very good friend, Matt Damon, said to him, if he made this movie, it would send him over the edge. So he took that advice. But let's make one thing absolutely clear. Studio interference. Jeff Johns was a co-writer on this movie, but I think he forced his way onto the project. This movie shouldn't have involved Jeff Johns at all. This should have been Ben Affleck's 100% take, and it's Jeff Johns who sunk this movie. It was Jeff Johns who went and brought in Matt Reeves to direct Ben's vision for this movie. But Matt Reeves, being a good guy, said, I can't take away this guy's movie. I want to make my own Batman movie. Johns insisted, so Matt Reeves walked, and then he said, okay, you can make your own Batman movie. Because originally he was going to direct Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck left, they drove him out, and he cast Robert Pattinson. Matt Reeves did his own Batman starring Robert Pattinson, the Batman. It's a perfectly fine, brilliant, compelling take of Batman. One of my problems with the Batman is that I never know where to rank it. It's not my very favourite Batman movie, but I really like it, but I never know where to place it. But anyway, we missed out. I believe it's still not too late for Ben Affleck to write, produce, direct and star in the Batman movie. I want to see Justice League 2. I want to see Justice League 3. I want to see Man of Steel 2. I want to see Flashpoint. And I want to see Cyborg starring Ray Fisher. And I want to see the Batfleck movie because it's self-evident. This probably is going to be the best Batman movie we would ever have seen. And again, we missed out. We lost out. But they're in a position now, Warner Brothers, where it looks like they're inviting bidders to make offers for Warner Brothers Discovery. We discussed Netflix interest in the company yesterday. Netflix's interest is real. They're not looking to take a cinematic company and stream it out. They want to get into cinema because they understand that cinema is more of the future of entertainment and the old broadcast TV system than streaming is. Streaming is done and Netflix know this. But anyway, whoever buys it, if they decide to restore the Snyderverse, the Batman is a very important part of Zack's vision. Because the vision is actually Ben's, but it's pretty much cohesive with what Zack wanted to do. And Zack was very supportive of Ben doing this movie. Don't forget, Christopher Nolan approached Ben Affleck to direct Man of Steel, and Ben was very honest and said, look, I think it's too early in my directorial career to direct something so ambitious. I think he would have directed a wonderful movie, but we got Zack. I'm very happy we got Zack for Man of Steel, and it's a brilliant movie. And the Batfleck movie would have been just as brilliant, maybe better. I love Batman vs Superman. I love Ben Affleck's take at Batman. It's brilliant for me to come in after Christian Bale, the most popular Batman at the time, and probably still the most popular version of Batman. I think it's split down the middle actually with Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, to come in with that pressure of having to, after The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins. There's a lot of pressure there. And, it's a divisive movie and it's not for everyone. And I respect you if you don't like Ben Affleck's take at Batman. But I thought Ben Affleck was an outstanding Bruce Wayne, an outstanding Batman. And when I heard about the casting, I wasn't happy myself. Because I had opinions about Ben Affleck as an actor back then. But boy, was I wrong. Oh boy, was we all fucking wrong about Ben Affleck as Batman. He was absolutely sensational. And he delivered the best performance of his career. There's no question about that as far as I'm concerned. So I want to see Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. Ben deserves this. Do I believe that Ben Affleck still wants to make this movie? He's made some noises publicly about moving away from comic book movies. I believe that Ben Affleck wants to make this movie as strongly as Zack Snyder wants to restore the Snyderverse. But Ben's not really a vocal guy. He doesn't really have much presence on social media, and he's not going to say that. Again, I repeat, it wasn't really his alcoholism that stopped him from making that movie. It was the pressure with his alcoholism from Jeff Johns, from WB and the rest of them that stopped him from making that movie. And as I say, we lost. They stole that movie away from Ben Affleck because they're not willing to take any gambles. Obviously, the divisive reaction to Batman vs Superman scared the shit out of WB. Back in the day, they used to take gambles on creatives and movies and TV. They don't want to take any gambles because all they want to do is make $1 billion a picture. But back in the day, they were willing to take gambles. They were willing to lose money for artistic integrity. They're not there anymore. They're so nervous, they don't make any fucking money anymore. Because it's the movies, when you look in Hollywood history, that take the big gambles, that actually make the most money and are the greatest movies in the history of Hollywood. And this movie would have been absolutely something special. Now, rumours say that Deathstroke was even going to murder Alfred. This was going to be a proper, full-out revenge movie. And a lot of people were complaining at the time, and still complain, that Deathstroke isn't a Batman villain. Who gives a fuck? I don't necessarily agree with that, but who gives a fucking fuck? Who the villain, where he belongs? Who cares? Deathstroke's a great character, and Joe Manganiello would have been a great version of Deathstroke. Now, if you remember rightly, Joe Manganiello was all set up to play Superman in Man of Steel, but because he was in True Blood, there was a scheduling problem and he couldn't play him. Now, personally, I didn't like the idea of Joe playing Superman, and I'm glad we got Henry Cavill. I think everything worked out for the best, and that's just my opinion. When I heard about Joe playing Superman, I thought, no, Zach, what you're doing, that's crazy. Maybe he would have pulled it off, we'll never know. But in terms of Deathstroke, from what little we've seen from him in the Snyder Cut, it's pretty obvious that he would have been a fucking epic, ruthless version of Deathstroke. And I can't believe we got done dirty. As I keep on saying, DC fans keep on getting done dirty. On this Batman Day, on the birth of this character, celebrating his creation from Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Poor Bill Finger was done dirty by Bob Kane, wasn't he? Bill Finger, let's get it straight, is the real genius creative behind Batman. Anyone in the know already knows that. But here's the thing. We lost out. What we got now is Robert Pattinson's the Batman, which I really, really like, by the way. But I also want to see Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. It's interesting hearing James Gunn yesterday talking about Batman the Brave and the Bold again. A secret writer is writing it, and it's great, but we're not there yet. Does that fucking movie even exist? Will we ever get a DCU Batman? He's talking about a DCU Batman. A certain actor, a really good actor, wants to play him, but it's not going to happen, apparently, according to Gunn. This is smoke and mirrors, my friends, because I genuinely believe there's no Brave and the Bold movie and there's no DCU Batman, and he's still tugging at Reeves to make Robert Pattinson the DCU Batman. That's my opinion. The potential of this Ben Affleck, the Batman movie, cannot be underscored. Imagine the music from Junkie XL, because I would hopefully assume he's the one who would have and would compose the score. There's no reason, as I said earlier, why this movie still can't happen if we restore the Snyderverse. No studio in their right minds should be denying Ben Affleck the opportunity to make this movie. And as I say, I believe Ben still really, really wants to make this movie. He certainly hasn't told fans to stop hashtagging make the Batfleck movie. And considering WB's on the market, hopefully DC is owned by new owners who have ambition. We need someone to grab hold of DC with an imagination and passion for these wonderful DC characters and this wonderful DC universe, because I am so underwhelmed by what James Gunn is doing and saying. I have very little, if any, interest whatsoever in what Gunn's doing. But I would be so excited to see Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. Ben Affleck is a man of considerable passion and intellect. And as I say, he was, you can give him credit for Batman vs. Superman as well as Zack Snyder. We saw that unhappy Batfleck moment when they mock Ben, when they tell him the box office or the reviews, and he looks devastated because he invested so much passion and emotion in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, and that version. And these idiotic critics broke his heart because they don't understand film. They don't understand celluloid. It's not like the old school critics like Barry Norman. They actually understood film. So even if they didn't like something that you loved, you respected them for being honest, right? But these days, you can't trust verified fucking critics. Fuck the critics. Fuck the haters. Make the Batfleck movie. Please let Ben Affleck make this movie.